Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today's video, we got a wild one. Smoked whole alligator. Welcome to the channel. If this is your first time here and you're interested in learning how to cook authentic Cajun and Creole cuisines, comfort foods, and just about anything for that matter, then you come to the right place. Click that subscription button and that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. Now, today's video, we are smoking a whole alligator, and let me tell you, this thing turned out so delicious. I've never actually smoked a whole alligator before. I've had plenty of alligator living out there in Louisiana, but I've never smoked one like this before, and it turned out so much better than I was expecting. It was delicious. Not only did I season it in some special seasoning that West Coast Cajun Cuisine has in the works. Make sure you keep your ears and your eyes open. There'll be a little bit more information about that in the near future. But I also made a glaze out of some barbecue sauce from my buddy Zach at Mad Moose BBQ. I'm going to leave all his information in the description box below. That is becoming one of my favorite barbecue sauces. That stuff is delicious, and it took this alligator to the next level, man. So you're probably wondering, where the hell did I get an alligator out here in California? Well, there's a company called Cajun Grocery in Louisiana, and they will ship alligators and just all kinds of different products. They're very similar to LA Crawfish Company, and if you're familiar with my channel, you know I use them for all my seafoods, crawfish, and stuff like that. They also sell alligator, but they didn't have any in stock. But what I'll do is I'll go ahead and leave both of their links in the description box below for you guys, so you can, if you're interested in seeing all the products that they do offer, for those of you that live outside of that area where you can't find stuff like this. Without any further ado, let's go ahead and get outside, because there's a lot of prep to this. I want to show you the steps that I went through to make this alligator so delicious. Let's get to cooking. All right, the first thing we want to do after we defrost this is brine it. Now I'm going to leave the recipe for the brine in the description box below, along with the recipes for everything else that we use in this cook. Now this brine is pretty basic. It's water, salt, sugar. I got a little liquid crab oil, a little powdered crab oil, some lemon, and some herbs. And then we're going to let this brine in a nice little ice bath overnight. Alright, it's the next day. We got him laid out on this table with butcher paper, and that's just going to help with the cleanup later. I went ahead and took him out of the brine and rinsed him off with some fresh water, and now we're going to get him prepped. Alright, now this tail has a bone in it that is shaped like a cross. So you essentially have 4 separate muscles in this tail. So what we want to do is cut along that bone as close as we can, and then open up the tail meat, because there's this little fat cap that's in there. Now, by removing that fat, you're removing that gamey, fishy taste, okay? That's why we want to do this. So we're going to go ahead, and at the top, as you can see here, there's not a lot of fat in it, but we're going to go ahead and flip this over, and that's where the bigger fat cap is. So we're going to do the same thing, follow that bone, but be careful on the bottom here. Make sure you stay close to the bone, because underneath this muscle is what's called the tenderloin. You have 2 of them, all right? That is the best part of the gator. So once we get him filleted open here, I'm going to show you what that looks like. And you can kind of see it right here. I'm going to cut through the connective tissue and lift it up just so that you can see what it looks like. But like I said a little while ago, this is the best part of the gator. You don't want to remove it or cut it up too bad. So I'm going to lift this up so you can see it here. And you'll see what I'm talking about. It actually looks like a little pork tenderloin. So we're just going to go ahead and lift that up. And underneath, you can see that fat cap now. And it's pretty thick, but it's easy to get out of there. I mean, you can cut at it and slowly remove it, or you can basically just pull it out with your fingers, which is what we're going to do. We're going to do a little bit of both. Okay, we have the fat removed. We've got the tenderloins pulled up. Now the only thing left to do is season this bad boy up. All right, we're going to start off by giving this a light coat of olive oil. This is going to act as our binder and help the seasoning to stick. Now I'm going to give this a healthy coat of seasoning and season the entire alligator. Now there's not a lot of meat on the ribs and the back and stuff like that. Most of your meat is coming from the tail and the legs. There's a little bit of the back strap. There's a little bit on the jowls, which is really good actually. But like I said, most of it is the tail and the legs. All right, we have it very well seasoned. And because this is a very lean animal, there's not a lot of rendering fat on it. We want to introduce some to it, okay? And we're going to do that in the form of bacon. So I'm going to add a strip of bacon to each fillet of the tail meat that we opened up. And we don't really care about eating this bacon. We just want it to render its fat and flavor the tail meat. All right, now that we have the bacon inserted in between each muscle and the bone, we're going to take some butcher's twine and we're going to tie it up. For one, it's going to keep the bacon from falling out, right, during cooking, obviously. But it's also going to keep the shape of what the tail looked like before we opened it up and removed all the fat. Okay, I got my grill set to 250 degrees, and what I did was I took 2 cooling racks, I tied them together with some butcher's twine, and this is going to help remove the alligator from the grill once it's finished cooking. All right, we're going to get this gator situated on here. We're smoking it with applewood today, and I just want to get it situated to a point to where it looks good and it's going to cook evenly. We're going to prop his mouth open just for aesthetic reasons, and we'll check back with it in about an hour and a half. All right, it's actually been about 2 hours, and the thickest part of the alligator tail is temping at about 85 degrees. Now the finished product, we want to get up to 165, okay? Now 3.5 hours in, it's temping at about 150, so I'm going to go ahead and glaze the gator. Now what I did was I took an entire bottle of that Mad Moose BBQ sauce. I added 1/4 cup of Bullet Bourbon and 1/4 cup of honey. I cooked that down for about 8 minutes, and now we're going to glaze this gator. All right, it's been about 4 hours. The alligator's temping at about 163 or so, so we're going to go ahead and pull it. Had to get some new gloves here because it was pretty hot. But we're going to go set it on the table. Now while this gator was smoking, I did a little bit of a seafood boil to go along with this. And what we're going to do is just kind of pretty this thing up a little bit so we can get a nice thumbnail for the YouTube. And this is what we came up with here. You talk about delicious, man. This was far beyond my expectations. This was super delicious. And I'm looking at the camera guy here in a second, surprised at how good this actually was. Look, if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and smash that like button. If you haven't already and would like to subscribe, click here. If you'd like to check out some of the other barbecue videos I got going on, check out this playlist, or maybe this video is more to your liking. Either way, click on one of them and I'll see you there.